Okay, we're back to Mishlei, and we're almost done with chapter 14, I think. Exciting. I don't know how many, I think there are like 34 pasukim, maybe 35. So we're on 1430. Chaye bisarim lev marpe urakav atzamos kina. How would you translate that?
The lives of fleshes.
Okay.
Those with flesh.
Lives of fleshes is probably the most literal translation, right? Lev marpe.
The heart slash mind heals.
Okay, so I actually am not 100% sure about whether this is an adjective or a verb.
Marape.
Right, marape. Yeah, I don't know the marpe. I don't know the difference between marpe and marape is. Yeah, urakav atzamos kina.
And the rot of bones. It's jealous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so here's how I would translate it, but we'll see how the English does it. I would say a healing heart or mind is the life of flesh. Okay, and I know it's plural. Okay, I will say literally lives, or I guess life, because whatever, right? Lives of fleshes. Okay, urakav atzamos, but rot of the but kina, but jealousy is rot of the bones. I think it's smoother if you put them in that order here. Okay. So that's the other thing also. Marpe could be healing or healthy, I think. All right, well, we'll see what the English says. Or let's see what the meforshim say. So Metzudas ציון says chaye is inyan refuah. Oh, so that's also interesting. So he says that chaye means health or healing. Kamo v'yimrach al hashachin vayechi. Okay, so a healing of the flesh is a marpe is, okay, well, this is totally different. Marpe is milashon rifayon. What does rifayon mean? Soft. Okay, right? So a soft heart is the healing of the flesh, is healing of the flesh. Okay, that's very different. He says, milashon rifayon imshuhu ba'alef, even though here it uses an aleph, kmo al kain hu marape. Okay, fine. So I guess he's saying grammatically it works out. Kina is inano kas. Okay, wow. So totally different. It means anger here. Kina uni below el. Like Hashem says, you angered me with non-gods. Okay. But anger is rotting of bones. Okay, so that's Metzudas. Okay, so that's completely different. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
When you have something that's like soft heart, which is something that is like an analogy, I don't know exactly what, but it's something like that. And we in modern English, I'm sure, take it one way, and it's quite possible that Metzudat ציון meant it in a different way.
Yeah.
Whatever. So how do you deal with that when you have like I don't know, whatever this type of thing is, where we might take it differently than what is being said?
So the only way you can be sure that you're getting the right idiom is if you see how it's used in Tanakh, or at least in that area of Tanakh. And then also just being on guard against your preconceived notions. Like if you think about I guess what the heart is, and then if you could like work it through from scratch as much as possible, then you also have good odds. Looking at how it's used also gives you good odds, and looking at the meforshim. I'd say those are the three ways. Okay. Sadigon says halev habari chaye haguf. A healthy heart is the life of the body. Okay, so he takes flesh to just mean body, and he takes this as healthy. Okay, not healing. V'hakina rekev la'atzamos, but jealousy is rot to the bones. Okay, now here's a move which I don't know why I never thought to do this before, but using ChatGPT 4 to translate the Targum. Okay, so demafleg chemta delibe asyahu debikre vehich milatesa bekisa hachin kinasa begarme. That's a mouthful. So here's how Targum, the ChatGPT translated the Targum into Hebrew. I mean, I also could do it into English, but I wanted to see the Hebrew. Hamafrid hamas libo gorem hu lebasaro. Okay, now I feel like gorem is being used here in a different way than just cause. In fact, I think gorem means hard in biblical Hebrew.
Bones also. Garam.
Yeah, right. Yisachar chamor garim, right? Yisachar chamor. Let me just I just want to look this up to click on the word garim. Yeah, because I think gorim as cause is a rabbinic usage. All right, gorim is bone, strength, or self. Okay, so strong, probably. Okay. So what is this here? So I'd say like this. Hamafrid Hamas libo, one who literally, I guess, separates, I'm gonna say anger from his heart. Okay. Gorim hu libisaro, strengthens his flesh. Okay. Which by the way, oh, never mind. I don't know if I Viketza Malata Bekisa Kach Kina Bagarmo. Malata. All right, I'm gonna look that Milatesa. I'm gonna look that one up in Jastra. In fact, I should have since we have a little bit less time today, I kind of could rationalize skipping the Targum, even though I do that all the time. But I feel like the very fact that every translation we've seen has taken this pasuk differently, then it might be in our best interest to get as broad of a translation as possible. Okay, this is not opening. If someone would like to get a physical Jastro, that would be helpful.
What's the word?
Mil tesa. I would say it comes from the word to I can look at it. To like lihimalate or limalate is to like to remove or to cause to or to save, really, right?
I want to like look it up at the Orchim Chumash, but it's not, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, halavai. Mileta.
A lot of white people do that. Mishlei with the Orchim also.
Yes, I mean that's where the phrase comes from, right? Milatesa. Milatesa is crumbling or corrosion. Okay, so the Heif Milatesa Bekisa and a corrosion of the pocket. I don't know if kis means something else here. Kach Kina Bagarmo. And as a corrosion, I don't know if this is correct, of the pocket, so is jealousy in his bone. Okay, I have no idea if this is correct. Whatever. Okay, our scroll. A tender heart brings healing of the flesh. Okay, so they're probably going based on the Metzudas ציון. Causes healing of the flesh, but envy brings broadening of the bones. Okay, that is a pretty good. I'd say that's that's a good possibility for Metzudas ציון also. Refer says the life of flesh trains the heart. Okay, marpe is saying trains. But envy rots the bones. And then Alter says a healing heart is life to the body, but envy is rot in the bones. And then Alter's commentary says presumably the heart is healing because it feels something like equanimity, in contrast to the corrosive envy in the antithetical second verse. Okay, that's more of an interpretation.
Maybe Keys could also mean wallet.
Yeah, that could be as well.
The wallet, so is jealousy.
Yeah, I think I actually am going to set the target aside because I'm just not confident in it. So let's do this now. Let's get this here. And just have all these in mind. I think life to the body. Okay, this is close to Saudi bones. So we get to delete altar. Okay, so we got 5-ish translations.
Yeah.
Okay. Woof. So let's try to keep it. Let's try to keep our questions such that they apply to everything, and not like get bogged down in the specifics. Yeah. All right. So what is the subject of this pasuk? All right. What is this even talking about? And the closest thing you got is the envy part, but the first half doesn't have an obvious opposite of envy, right? It's not like, I don't know, what would the opposite of envy be?
Content.
Yeah, contentment, right? Like sameach b'chalko type of thing, but doesn't really. I guess that's a question I'm asking. So, what is what in the first half is the opposite of the kina in the second half? Yeah, Ezra?
What is a healing heart and mind?
Yeah, what is a leiv marpeh according to either to any translation?
It's almost like good advice for meditation.
What was that?
It's a good advice for meditation.
I don't get it.
It's basically saying like, oh, you should meditate and have like a calm mind, like a healthy mind. Well, I
I'm
don't
just,
know.
I'm just not seeing what we're getting at. Yeah, David?
What are mystifying?
Yeah, what is chaye bisarim? I guess what is chaye and what is bisarim? Yeah, Isaac.
Is this pasuk asserting that whatever the non-obviously flesh-related parts of the pasuk are, is it saying those are going to literally have this effect on a person's body, or is it like figurative?
Okay,
Meaning,
so
let's say if you're jealous,
Mhm.
are your bones going to actually decay? Like you're going to
Right.
see your fingers start to
okay,
melt,
are
like-
the chaye bisarim and rekev atzamos literal or figurative? And before you say that it can't be literal, we do have to remember that rekev atzamos, I think, was just how they talked about like internal diseases. Like my suspicion, I've never seen this inside, but my suspicion is when they talk about rotting of the bones, then like they were talking about like cancer or something like that, like something that does not have an obvious external cause and like is some sort of like severe painful deterioration internally, but I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I think we have to ask here, what is the practical application? And then is this aimed at a specific audience? It doesn't seem like it, right? I mean, except someone who's prone to jealousy, I guess. Yeah.
What's the cause and effect in each half?
Yeah. What is the cause and effect? The cause and effect in each half. I think that's pretty good general asking of questions without getting too specific. Okay, yeah.
um
A rhyming translation?
very loose, right?
Okay.
Based on Sadhguru.
Okay. Isaac's rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac has tried to come up with a rhyming translation of each pasuk, and some of them have been very good, and some of them have just been entertaining. Okay, yeah.
A healthy heart is the life of the body, but bones rot from envy.
But bones rot from envy. Yeah, you're right. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what it is though? It's like that's the level of Tanakh rhymes. Tanakh rhymes are very like rhyming was still new, but back then. So yeah. David.
What is kina here? And
Oh yes, that's a good question.
kina over what?
Right. Okay. So what? Let's put this here. What is kina in this context? And then kina over what?
I'm also recognizing the second half. The kina requires looking at something else external and then having a reaction, versus a healthy heart can be all internal.
Right.
It doesn't require anything external.
Yeah. Okay. Oof. Difficult one. All right. So I think that probably makes the most sense to start with, right? What is kina? Because that's the only thing we have that points us to the realm of the subject of the pasuk. Yeah.
Ideas?
Yeah.
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 All right. So I have a pretty good interpretation for the second half of the pasuk. I don't know.
Okay.
But like a lot of it's going to be based off of my research in Doeg right now.
Oh, Doeg. Okay.
Yeah. Like Doeg, I think it's very clear. In fact, there's an open Rashi that says that that Doeg was jealous of David. Specifically by in No, like there's a Rashi that says that when David and Doeg were in No, the people of No asked David a shiur, which made Doeg jealous.
Because he was a chacham, right?
Yeah, he was a huge Talmud chacham, had a Sanhedrin, which made him jealous, which made Doeg jealous, and therefore he got them killed.
Interesting.
It's an open Rashi.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I was thinking about that, and this man is like, he's an enigma. He's a huge Talmud chacham. Like how did he get to this
He's
point?
an Edomi.
Yeah. I'll save that for later.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, so just over here, like jealousy, there are two things that you should stay away from: jealousy and anger. Like you see, like having this meat of jealousy.
I'm not sure which thing you're referencing. I know there's
two
kina v'taiva v'kavod mutinas adam min ha'olam, and then
On the media extremes.
that's Gaiva
Oh,
and
Gaiva.
Koth, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll strike that from the record. Yeah.
I want to delete that.
Yeah.
Part. Anyway, so like, but jealousy, like, it's a very like toxic, media because like, it can really ruin your strength in other areas that you have.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Like the bones are like, like they hold up your entire,
Okay, that's
support
good.
system.
That's a good move.
And
Yeah.
the jealousy kind of like,
Okay, so let me start with what you're saying here. Okay, right. So bones are the support structures of the body, and rotten bones equals like internal instability. And kina can cause that. Okay, how? So could we be more specific about how?
well, so specifically by Doeg, like it was almost like he was kind of like blinded, through his jealousy, which kind of like, ignored his other attributes in a sense.
Okay,
Which
can we,
could have-
I guess, universalize? I mean, you could use that as a model. You know what would make you very happy? I don't know if this is true. It would make you so happy if Rashi actually says that this is Doeg. I have to check. Okay,
yeah,
because it's such a Rashi type thing to say.
I hope it because it's Rashi said that.
No, all right, fine. And the other place to check is the Midrash Mishlei and the Yalkut. Nope. And it's not a counter Raya,
Whatever,
but
I'll
okay,
sell
fine.
my own.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So you're saying that okay, you're saying you're when you say that it overrode like these other qualities, meaning that's part of your explanation of how it rots the bones, right?
Yeah.
But sorry, of what the effect is. I'm looking more in terms of, so how does it cause that? If we get more insight into that.
How does jealousy cause the rotting of the bone?
Yeah.
I think like if you could look at the first half to kind of answer that, I think similarly leave marpe. I'll translate that right now as like kind of mental health.
Okay.
Where if you're like a state of like you're in a good state of mind, where you're not gonna be jealous of people, you're
Yeah.
not like stressed about stuff, you're not angry because someone else like has more
Yeah.
honor than you or something, then you're not gonna be affected by like your body will be affected by your emotions, which does happen when you are
Mhm.
anxious or something. Like
Mhm.
people like sometimes throw up when they
Right.
It's funny.
Okay, so that is taking a separate track, which I think is I'm sure the meforshim are going to take that, which is that the subject, and there might be overlap here, but the subject is the effect of your mental state on your physical health. Okay, right. So if you have a lave marpe, which loosely speaking, not with the loose translation, is like an unagitated mind, then that will promote actual physical health. Whereas if you are if your mind is plagued by kina, okay, which we have to still have to examine why it focuses on kina, then that could cause actual disease.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think there's a lot of crossover. Just to like specify Kino
Yeah.
why. I think Kino is like the trait where like you're always comparing yourself to someone else.
Right.
Which is like the antithesis of like a good mental state.
Okay, yeah. So I that's what I was thinking as well, right? So kina is because kina is predicated on a relative value system where you're constantly comparing yourself to everyone else, and really like you're going to condemn yourself to a permanent state of discontent, right? Because everyone will, because either someone will always have more or be more than you, or you will have to worry about that happening, right? Meaning like even if you are the best, you're constantly worried. Yeah.
Yeah, but also shoot, I had
All right, I'll come back to you. Yeah, Doug.
Is similar to us, but a little different idea.
Yeah.
And I think just also in a different way that your mental state can affect your physical health is insofar as decision making, that if you are in a good mental state, then you can make decisions that are going to be healthy for you, even like physically, practically. If you're in a bad mental state, say you're jealous of other people, whatever it is, you're going to start doing things like, I don't know, start like, that's like in like sports, is like thing like performance enhancing drugs, because
Right.
like, you gotta be something different and you're gonna wind up ultimately hurting yourself. I know it's not jealousy, but it's similar.
Okay,
thing.
sure. So the health or unhealth of your mental state can also cause you to make poor decisions, which are detrimental to your physical health. I mean, the examples you gave were good, but like I think common ones are like, when people are stressed out, it'll either affect their sleep or it'll affect their eating, or it'll affect like other just basic physical maintenance things. Like even if it's not like a drastically, harmful direct decision, it'll cause you to have poor management of your physical health. Yeah, I do.
I remember what I was gonna
Yeah.
say, which is, I think with Kina specifically, it's not just that you want more, it's that you feel like you should have it in a way where it feels like there's an injustice happening, there's like, that there should be some way to just make it happen.
Right.
And like, then like, I feel like there's a certain like, almost like a denial of reality.
Right.
That, like, this is like, it shouldn't be this way because it should be the way that I want it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly, yeah.
yeah. So additionally, Kina is predicated on or accompanied by a distortion of reality. Like I should have more, or it's wrong that I don't, or I deserve this instead of that guy. And I think this is also a if you're going to go with Kas,
Yeah.
like them to Tion, then this is what you're going to have to take. Similarly, according to Metzudas Tion, Kas is the ultimate distortion of reality vis-a-vis the self, and you can get caught up in something totally like baseless. Oh, okay, yeah.
At one point, I think this is why it's like the rotting of the bones, the like support structure, like Mario was saying.
Yeah.
Because with let's say you like Taiva, let's say like like eating fancy foods.
Yeah.
The person who gets really caught up in that, there's a way the person's able to see that that's something that's kind of external. That's like a feeling. A person might be. It's easier to see that there's like a feeling that they have that they want this, but that it's not necessarily like. But it's like something that they can. It's easier to see it as like not like a true like something that's like truly in reality, but Kina can like undermine the whole way that a person is thinking about reality, and is very hard to like divorce themselves from, because they're like it shouldn't be this way.
Okay, so I meant the whole way a person thinks about reality because it because of I guess of this distorting factor. Yeah, I only question that because when I quoted that Pirkei Avos of Akina v'Taiva v'Kava Matinas Anamin Ha'olam, I think I've had an interpretation of that before where all three of those things do that. So I have to think more about Taiva. And
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, I know it's not a central part of your idea. Yeah.
I just have a kind of like more like a basic question.
Yeah.
Kina, the meat of Kina, where does that really stem from?
That's what I was.
Does it stem from Gaiva?
Right. So that's a good
Because
question.
I was thinking, more into it, and maybe like the reason why I said that first, like opposite extreme, is because like if you really think about it, like you could say that jealousy does stem from gaiva.
Yeah,
Like, why would you be jealous of someone? Because you think you should have them more than the other guy,
right.
which is gaiva. Like, I should be better
Right.
than the other guy.
Right. So definitely if it is based on Gaiva because it is saying that like the only thing that actually matters is me relative to someone else, not me in objective reality. So like you are using the self as a measure of all things in that way.
Right. Now I have another question just in terms of like these ideas. It's interesting because like I was thinking like there could be two ways to go, like either the Nigla and the Nisser approach. I kind of wanted to like somehow take the Nigla Nisser approach. But I don't know. When you heard my idea first, which was you think?
It's hard because I think a lot of it depends on why what the basar and atzamos are and why we care about them. Like if this is about like your physical health, let's say like I feel like in what Ezra was saying or in what David was saying, then Mishlei would be talking about your physical health because that's going to affect your enjoyment in life or your other decisions. Whereas if you're focusing on the physical health insofar as it like there's a symbiotic relationship between the health of your soul and your physical health, and that's like a Nisser approach.
Yeah, it's funny because like I had like an interesting. I don't know if we've already been saying this, but like I was thinking that like the Mida jealousy is like a cancer that would rot the bones, and like like a healthy heart or a healthy mind is like what medicine does for the flesh. It's almost like could take the Mida and like it can through like an analogy.
Yeah, so I think to me this is one of these. I don't know what the Meir is going to say, but I think this is one of these psukim where the thing it's telling you is going to be the same in the Nigla and the Nistar, but just the application is going to be different. Yeah.
So for the Nistar approach, because we mentioned Yisachar earlier, kind of triggered it, but he like carries the burden of Torah.
Yeah.
So like same two Yetzamos here are representing and the Basarim representing like your learning. And if you're jealous, then like your learning will rot and you won't have.
Do you have a reason for saying that Basar and Atomos is your learning?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, I mean, no. You could say like going back to the Doeg example.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that like Doeg, like you must say that he must have had like some positive foundations about Yadas and Judaism,
Yeah.
Otherwise he wouldn't be in the position he was right now. But like the jealousy kind of like somehow it really like destroyed that
right.
that, and the foundation is the bone and the buster.
Yeah. Can we do this? I do want to take a look at the Metzudas David today, but before we do that, I think we haven't given enough thought to marpe meaning soft or tender. And why that is being portrayed as the opposite. Actually, we haven't really talked about kas yet. Okay, so let's just, before we read Metzudas David, let's think about anger and soft heart. Okay, so I mean, this is kind of going off of what Isaac was saying. You want to say, David?
Different thoughts.
Okay, so I think going off of what Isaac was saying, or inspired by what Isaac was saying, kas is definitely something where you are distorting reality, right? Because and it's definitely something from the ego where you're saying that reality should be in line with my desire, and if not, then it is wrong. Like there's an injustice here, So that is using the self as the absolute, and everything must conform to the self. But the opposite mentality of that is the soft mind, where you're realizing reality is the absolute, and I have to conform to that. So according to this, it would be, and I think this is closest to what Ezra was saying. It's just more specific in terms of mental and physical health, which is that like if you are able to, to the extent that you're able to accept reality for what it is, then you're going to remove this sort of inner tension that can have so many physical symptoms or can like lead to like, bad decisions. But to the extent that you are constantly in conflict with reality and like upset about the fact that it's not going your way, then you're going to be generating this like inner stress. Like I think that's what the Rambam means when I'm not going to quote the Rambam because I don't have to quote all of them, but like chaye bale kas like eno chaim or something like that. The life of people who are short-tempered is not a life. It's like in addition to all these other problems, you're just in a constant state of inner pain and frustration. So it's constant tension, and so it's just going to have all these bad effects. So that's how I would take them to
soft, like flexible.
Yeah, soft like flexible, yielding heart would probably be the best way to say it, or yielding mind. So let me just take a note of this here. So Metzudas ציון, which is anger is the ultimate egocentric inflexibility, which will cause a person to be in a perpetual state of tension, okay, which will have effects on his physical health. Okay. The opposite of this is a soft heart, i.e., a yielding mind that recognizes the absoluteness of reality and the need of the self to conform to that. To the extent you succeed in being like water in this way, you will have calmness of mind and I guess at worst be free of this tension, and at best you will flourish. Okay, which I'm leaving vague. Yeah, David.
I was just thinking a similar idea, and I would just apply it, or at least talk it out. And so far as reactions to when something happens, that I think that this requires really before the actual situation arises, having things in your head worked out about your ego and getting to a soft heart, where that when the thing actually happened in that split second, that you react and you build your thoughts based on that, how you've already grounded yourself. And from there, they'll actually enable you to react and to interact with the world as best.
Okay, right. So that's the Stoic technique of the premeditatio malorum, of thinking about what could go wrong ahead of time and playing through the scenario in your head, ideally not just intellectually, but also using your imagination and allowing yourself to feel that, so that when the thing actually comes, then you won't be shocked, and you'll have already discharged a great deal of the emotion by mentally experiencing it, and you also know what to do. The practical example of this that I really like is, you'll see when I'm sure this is true in other games and sports as well, but in Magic the Gathering, when a good player is waiting to see what card he's going to draw or what the opponent's going to do, he'll mentally and verbally talk out, okay, well, these are the possibilities. If this happens, then that means I'll have to take this approach. If this happens, it means this approach. He'll map it all out ahead of time, so that when the thing does happen, first of all, it's just a much more efficient way of decision making, because he doesn't have to work it out on the spot, and he doesn't expose himself to the added tension of, I need to make a decision now. It's all worked out in the calmness of before the factors change. So it's just a good policy here. Okay, yeah.
I have a better rhyming translation.
A better what? Rhyming? Yeah.
Yeah. A healthy body from a healthy mind.
A healthy body from a healthy mind.
But envy makes bones rot in kind.
That envy makes bones rot in kind. Okay, good. That is better.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at Metzudas David and see what he actually says, not just the predicted version. Someone who has a yielding mind. Ve'eno makshe libo. See, that's good. And he doesn't harden his heart. Lintor kina. See, now he goes to kina. I thought he said it was kas. Okay, maybe he's presupposing that this does mean kas, because he's assuming that you've read the Metzudas Tion. To bear a grudge of anger, I guess, right? Hu loch l'chai besarim. That will be healing of the flesh for him. Ki lo yidag ich uvameh yinkom nekem. I don't know how exactly to punctuate that or vocalize that. He won't be anxious or worried about how and with what he'll take revenge. Val hamaksha libo, someone who hardens his heart, but no terkina, and bears a grudge, who siba lahavi rikavon atzmosav lahasmadas adaga. It's going to be a cause of rotting of the bones due to the perpetual state of daga. Okay, so it's not it's not squarely anything that we said, but it's along the same lines, right? Like the point is that whether you say that this is kina or kas, it's a distortion of reality, and by clinging to this distortion, then you're generating constant tension that is going to have a physical effect. Yeah.
You know what sounds funny that like Daga is the same like is doughy.
I know, I was thinking.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking that.
Right.
It's
I
funny,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
his name does change also later. Like,
Right. I mean, you have to assume that Doeg is not his real name, right? It's got to be that that's not his real name. I mean, just like Machlon and Kilion. No one names their kid Machlon and Kilion. You know. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Let me just see how long Rביnu Yona is and see if we just want to read it once. And then we'll think about it for tomorrow. Okay, it's short. No, it's not. Okay, well, I'll read it anyway. Actually, I want to read it from the Torah Chaim TC
It's not so.
14. What? Oh, I can't ask you what page on the PDF it's in because you're not holding PDFs. Okay. What?
It shouldn't be.
Okay.
That's gonna be nice.
You know, these 10 minutes
19?
are very crucial.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So Chai Basarim Leiv Marpeh Rov Harufuos Poalos Lemiktas Evarim Venezek Lemiktasam. So the majority of actions cause, what do you say? Cause oh no, Rov Harufuos, the majority of cures act for some of the limbs and bring, or I guess they like, I think he means like they help some of the limbs and they harm them in part. Okay, I think that's what he means, right? In other words, like for example,
Help some, help others.
yeah, like I mean, I think the I mean back then that was definitely true based on their remedies, but like, you know, what was it?
I was thinking
Yeah, chemo is a good example, right? So chemo is good for getting rid of cancer, but it also causes other problems. Or you could even say like working out, you know, you are destroying, you know, your muscle, then you're building it, you know, or
that's the same ones.
yeah, but I think that a lot of their cures did that in various ways. I don't know. Bloodletting gets rid of the diseases, but you have less blood. Yeah. Okay. V'leiv hasavlanus, but a mind of equanimity is the life of all the limbs. So it's saying like this is the ultimate cure. That's why it's using plural. Bisarim is avarim. Bisarim is limbs. Nikra leiv hasavlan leiv marpeh, and again, there's no. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. Leiv savlan. I don't think it's like you can say a patient heart, but patience implies that like you're waiting. It really means like and so else to tolerate, but it really means like we'll have to come up with a good word for it. I think like equanimity is the best like English word for it. That is a healing heart. Lefishahu marape leguf marpe leguf ulanafsho min hakas v'hayagon. Because it heals the body and the soul from anger and worry or sorrow. What was it? Peaceful heart, yeah. Commotion MR v'haser kas mi lebecha v'haveh ra'ami b'sarecha. As it says in Koheles, remove anger from your heart and remove evil or harm from your flesh. Umarpe lezulaso b'mane rach, and will heal others through a soft, gentle reply. Commotion MR mane rach yashiv chema. Okay, that's a foreshadowing of a pasuk we'll hopefully do before the summer. 15:1. V'nemar v'lashon chachamim marpeh, the language of chachamim heals. Okay, v'rekev atzamos kina ein tzarech lomar ki mi shemen bisaro yirazeh min hakina. Needless to say, that from the fat of the flesh, yirazeh min hakina, meaning kina will make you thin. Okay, to like make you you know you'll like lose weight. Okay, like presumably from like the emotional stress. Gam hatzamo shem kashim, but even so, in other words, everyone knows that if you're jealous, you're going to lose weight. Okay, the jealousy diet. But the bones, even the bones which are hard, yirakavu mechole hakina, they will rot due to the sickness of envy. The erech inyan hakina, the hafoch inyan leiv marpeh, and it's you know comparing or assessing the concept of or the quality of kina as the opposite of the quality of leiv marpeh. So he's saying that they're opposites not in cause but in effect. Okay, we were saying it's opposite in cause. Or because kina naturally arises from the same place as anger. Min hamara hashchora, from melancholy, right, from black bile. Okay, that's an outdated physical concept. You talking the first leiv marpeh hu halev hatov. Leiv marpeh could also mean a good heart. Shedorish tov la'amo, that you seek good for other people. V'hu chayi b'sarim, that's going to be a life of flesh. Ki lo yacholu bo hasina v'hakina. Hatred and jealousy will not befall it. Okay, so we've read Rabbeinu Yonah. I don't want to think about it today. Let's just let it go around and start with that tomorrow, and then do some other meforshim.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind because I know like Isaac and Ezra they they come in and
Yeah.
from shoppers tomorrow, but like I want to start at 8:30.
Okay,
I don't
I'm
need
good
that.
starting with 8:30. Yeah, okay.
David, up to you.
I'm not here on Thursday.
Oh, fine, okay,
okay.
all right, so we'll
So,
start
it's-
Bli Neder at 8:30.
Everyone else is sleeping,
Yeah.
so like it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Alright, thank
didn't
you.
need to say that, but okay.
Oh, is it recording?